How you feeling?
Elated. Very good.
Yeah, it hasn't hit me yet.
I feel human again.
Hi, everybody. Some bad news. I found out yesterday that Lanny passed away this week. The good news is that Lanny has been in housing the last couple of years. Many of you know or have been introduced to Lanny through the social media that I share and the video that on Housing First. I thought that I should tell a little bit about the story because Landy was just wonderful. Actually, just going back looking at some photos, I saw the thank you video that Lanny and I videotaped to all of you because thanks to all of you guys on social media, we did a little fundraiser for a TV and couch and desk and chair and plates and stuff for when he moved in. But I just felt it in my heart that I needed to share a little more of the story because it is a very powerful story, and Lanny was a big part of me and my work in ending homelessness, and I think some other people at Ascensius too. So I was a outreach case manager at a homeless services in Glendale. It's now named Essentia. And the Glendale Police Department called and they said they had a homeless man in an abandoned building. So I immediately drove there, and there was Lanny, and he was sitting in a corner, and he was um, just in horrible condition. I just don't feel like I should describe it right now, but it was just imagine the worst possible condition a human could be in, and that was uh, Lanny at the time. And he is just such a sweet, quiet, gentle man. So the first thing I did was take him back to Essentia and got him a change of clothes and got him into the shower. And during this time, we were running the winter shelter program. So I took him to the winter shelter, but he, for whatever reason, didn't want to sleep on a cot with a bunch of other people and just be woken up every morning. And we won't go into that there, but the winter shelter, I over the years I tried to get him into the winter shelter several times, but he would rather be on his own. So Lanny was rather infamous in the Glendale area. Several businesses and people in the Glendale. There's this little area called Chess Park where some women would walk by and give him gifts all the time. He was quite the ladies' man. And Lanny was a veteran, and his wife had died, and basically he had been drinking himself to death. And Lanny at times would blow up to a .48 near death, and he would be in and out of the hospital. And I would go visit him whenever I would learn, So there was times where he would just disappear. And as an outreach guy, one thing that I learned is to target people instead of having the shotgun approach of we're gonna save the world. Is pick a couple of people that are the most vulnerable, and Lanny was clearly vulnerable, and target them. And so on a daily basis, I would, oh my gosh, just search for him and make sure he's all right. And thanks to you guys, we would get him a sleeping bag or whatever he needed. But Lanny, if I didn't see him, and he would disappear for weeks on end sometimes, I would go to the hospitals and we'd find him in the hospital, usually for alcohol. But one time, I've never seen some skateboard kids, just punk kids beat him up. And he had, oh my gosh, he had black and blue all over. I've never seen anybody. I mean, his whole body was black and blue. I couldn't imagine what he had gone through. It was just really, really horrible. So it took a long time, almost 3 years of me committing, other people committing, just loving on him. We would take him to the VA whenever possible. And really, 4 or 5 years ago, housing first was maybe just an ideal. So as we were also, Lanny didn't have income, so that also put in a big damper on housing first, because housing first is so contingent on SSI. Um, but finally, we were able to get him into housing, and I'll put some photos along with this and the videos. And it was a marvelous experience as I was just going through the photos. Excuse me if I get a little emotional. About 9 months ago, or last January, I guess, was the last time I saw him. I was visiting Los Angeles, and I stopped by, and we went out to a Mexican restaurant and had a good meal, and I did a selfie with Lanny, which I'll post here. But Lanny was just the sweetest man. Sometimes, as a case manager, a homeless services worker, you really don't know who is going to make it and who is not going to make it. And Lanny had such a volatile life on the streets. I didn't know, but oh my gosh, once he got into housing, and this is so important, why Housing First is such a great model when it's done right. But Lanny was placed into housing, and he immediately, he started doing his own dishes and keeping the cupboards clean, and he would go for a walk, and, on his own every day, and it was just amazing. It was just, he became friends with people in the apartment complex. I remember I was visiting, and he was talking about how the manager had invited him to the apartment complex Christmas party, and it was just really amazing. He liked to read. He liked to read a lot. That's very common for people on the streets. They don't have Netflix. Oh my gosh, he would devour books, and he was so for a time. He was on the streets for over a decade, and he even lived in the Glendale Galleria for a while, homeless, until somebody discovered him. He was in there for 6 months. So all these memories are flashing back. But, he really taught me a couple of things, and a couple of things I had learned from Joseph, who was a previous client, the first person that I ever had anything to do with getting into housing. And Joseph also passed away. But what I learned, so Joseph, we had housed Joseph the day I got laid off. So I had nothing better to do except to go hang out with him. And even with Lanny. So, often, and it's not that, homeless services is bad. They just don't have the resources often. But you have to visit, at least for the first 6 months, every day. And I would go and I would visit Lanny every day, even on weekends. Obviously, I traveled with invisible people a lot, but if I was in town, I made it a point. Oh my gosh, and that's so important when you get somebody into housing. You just can't leave them there. They need tangible social interaction. They've been in a park for so long or living on the streets, they don't know how to take care of themselves like we all take for granted. So you really, really have to commit to people. And I committed to Joseph, and I committed to Lanny, and it was just seeing his own almost immediate change from homeless into housing, how he just, oh man, he just started to glow as a person. So, when I found out last night, it really didn't hit me. And then it's been, on my heart all day today. And oh my gosh, I know a lot of people, when a homeless person dies, we all say, well, at least, he was in housing. And I don't want to take that lightly because, Aunt Lanny was in housing for the last couple of years. And oh my gosh, housing first works. And um, Lanny was a wonderful person. And there's a lot of other homeless veterans out there, and homeless people, not just veterans, but there's a lot of homeless people, and we need to get them off the streets. We need to get them either back into some kind of sustainable life, or we need to get them into housing that has support. That's a key ingredient. So I've rambled here for 10 minutes, and I could probably ramble for another 10 minutes more. And when I stop recording, I'll probably break down a little bit. But I just want to thank all of you because we helped, make Lanny's apartment a home. You helped me raise money for sleeping bags, or, throughout the years when he was on the street, we helped him as often as we could. I want to thank Essentia for, opening the doors to get him into housing. And we also, we got him a TV and all this stuff. And oh, it was just wonderful. So, everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's, continue to work on ending homelessness. And Lanny, gosh, you've changed me. And as you would say, I love you. And I think the world of you. And rest in peace.